just take a moment, look at this makeup. A lot of these products are Morphe products, not everything, but I will share the thoughts that I have on every single product I have because there are some recommendations, some I don't really love as much. But I am trying this eyeshadow palettes, and I did purchase a couple of these from Morphe, and these are the new eyeshadow palettes. There's 6 pans in here. You get 2 of like the special baked formula, which kind of reminds me of Pat McGrath. I mean, I can do like a comparison. Is it like fully comparable and not in my eyes? But I want to do a comparison of these later with Pat McGrath. But look at this and look at this. And again, we're just going to go into lots of detail with this whole look. So if you want to see how I got this look, just keep on watching. I'm just going ahead and get started. I already dyed my foundation all over my face. And this is the Maybelline, the Lumi Matte Foundation, and I am in the shade 118, like my actual shade. I had been using 128 this entire time, but I mean, I don't know why. I thought I would be a lot tanner right now, and I'm not. I just keep getting sick. Like, I was sick for another 2 weeks. That's why I've been posting like at random times during the week and on my social media, just like random times during the day or at night. But I mean, I'm mostly better. I'm back. But I guess I just went ahead and bought my shade so I can just stick with this because I don't think I'll be making it to the other shade that I have. But look at how gorgeous this is. This is such like a lightweight feel. I used about 2 pumps on my face, and it is like a more lighter medium coverage foundation, but it's just so lightweight. This is like amazing. This is going to be the foundation I probably end up using most of summer. I mean, look, it's gorgeous. Like, if you're looking for a nice lightweight drugstore foundation, this is it. But I haven't tried any foundations from Morphe, and honestly right now I don't really seem to be too intrigued by anyone, so I'm just happy with this. And then I'll go ahead and use my L'Oreal Infallible concealer. I know Morphe has fantastic color correctors. I haven't tried those out, but I might grab one just to try it out because I haven't really been using coloring correctors as much. I don't feel like my hyperpigmentation has been bugging me as much these days, but I don't like to have too many concealers open for me because, you know, liquid cream products tend to go bad faster, and I just limit the amount I have open. I do have quite a bit open right now anyways. But using this brush, and I talked about these brushes in my, like, some of my past videos, but I got a set of these 3 brushes. They're all like 3 different sizes. This is the smallest, and they're amazing. The brand is TEOYALL, and this is like, I think I got 3 of these brushes for $10 on Amazon. It's just really nice. I feel like I really love this Makeup by Mario F4 brush. And then I've just been using this nonstop for my concealer. It's kind of like the similar shape, like the paw shape, like this, but this one is much smaller. And, you know, 3 brushes for $10, you can't beat it. And this is the middle size. I use this for like my cream contour. And then I have the bigger one for the foundation. Now, the foundation one is much denser than this. It kind of clings to some product, but it's still a really fantastic one, especially if you're on a budget looking for one. So I see on TikTok a lot of people comparing a brush that looks very similar to this, but the bristles just aren't the same. And I tried another one that was kind of similar-ish and just didn't work out. But this brush is amazing. If you're on a budget, this brand is a good one to check out. Let's see, just got everything nice and blended out. My cream contour, I have this cream contour from, or I think it's just a bronzer. Yeah, it's from Morphe to Sun and Done Smooth Gliding Bronzer Stick. This is in the shade Golden Isle. I do know this is like a warmer shade, and this one's actually pretty deep. A lot of times, like, deeper shades will end up being cooler tone, which is kind of why I grabbed this one. But this one I know has a lot of pigment to it, and I probably should have gone in with a lighter hand. Okay, let me just start with that much and see what happens. So I'm going to use the smaller end of my Makeup by Mario F4 brush. Sorry, I'm a mess. And just go ahead and get this blend out. This is really, really creamy. It has a lot of pigment to it, so just a heads up. I mean, see? It's nice, though. I mean, with the summer months here, this is actually a nice one. But I haven't used this in a while, so we'll see if this works out for me, but I do know a lot of Morphe's, like these cream products. Like I have a blush from this line as well, like the Morphe 2 line, and that one also is very, very pigmented. But I did notice it has, well, one, it has shimmers in it, so I'm already kind of like about that. I'm not a fan of bronzers with a lot of shimmers, especially ones that I can like see pretty clearly. Like if I can see flecks, I'm not a fan. But that one seemed to have kind of like flex tone. I don't remember the exact shade. I'll put it on the screen somewhere if I can find it. But that one did have that. And I also noticed it would kind of pick up on like my base products. Like if I have my tinted SPF, which is when I was using that product a lot more, I would see my products pick up, which I did not like. Just keep that in mind. I don't know if that's really true for this product, because I'm just kind of like dabbing everything in. But I mean, this as a bronzer stick is nice. Just keep in mind it's very pigmented and on the warmer side. But I mean, it looks nice like this. I didn't do a great job on my nose right there, but I will use powder and kind of fix this up and kind of bronze up my chin a little bit. So I have like bronziness throughout my face. Sorry, it's been like a little while since I've recorded like a full-on tutorial. And it's just been a long couple of days. So my brain's a little bit fried, but makeup is also like a form of therapy for me. So I find this therapeutic. I always like to do my cream liquid products first and then use my powder products. So I have the Morphe Cheek Thrills Blush Trios. I love these so much. I have 2 shades. I had a third one, but I returned that one. But this one is in the shade Blind Date. This is actually my favorite. Actually, no, I love this one and the other one I have pretty equally, I guess. But I'm gonna go ahead and use the cream shade right here on my cheeks. Just blend it out. This one's just so nice. It has like a medium level of pigment. Like if you're comparing to Patrick Ta, this is lighter than the Patrick Ta blush duos in pigment. But if you are a more beginner makeup artist and you're looking for things that are a little bit more buildable, I recommend this over Patrick Ta. If you're looking for more pigment, then get Patrick Ta. But this is about half the price. I think this is $19. And Patrick Ta is what, like 38, 36? This honestly, and like, you know, you have different shade ranges too. I think the shade I have She's Seductive from Patrick Ta and the other Morphe one, they look spot on, like the same, like shade match wise. But Patrick Ta has a greater shade range. And like, you know, Patrick's done a fantastic job with the shades, and I actually am planning on grabbing a couple more shades because I want to get like more of a toasty blush, and just every time I look, there's always new shades I want to get, so I likely will be doing that. And I've been just buying a lot of random products, so you might see another haul coming up soon. Time for some powder products to start setting this. I'm using the Morphe Bake and Set setting powder, and this is just the translucent shade. Now, this is a fine translucent powder. Is it my favorite? No. And there's a couple of reasons why. I mean, one, I think this is the smallest. I didn't realize there was a bigger size of this. I don't like how small like the thing is. I like to have safe space for my powder puff just to kind of dunk it in. And then the second thing is I don't like how big the holes in the sieve are. I feel like too much product just comes out at once, and like, you know, I'll dab it in the lid and everything. There's still like a lot of product here, and I might have like setting powder dust everywhere, but you know, it's a nice setting powder. It smooths everything out. Now, does this last as long? Not in comparison to a lot of the other setting powders I have tested. Like the Wet n Wild one is probably the best budget friendly one. So if you're looking for a nice budget friendly setting powder, I highly, highly recommend the Wet n Wild one. But for high end, I absolutely love my Laura Mercier. And this one's, you know, pretty comparable to that. But if you're trying to save money on like a setting powder, just get the Wet n Wild one, because that one doesn't budge. And like I've noticed with this Morphe one, my skin tends to dry out. I have relatively dry skin, but I will get some greasiness around my nose. And like you know, I'll still have a little bit of greasiness on my nose with both of them. But this one, I've noticed like I still get a dry feeling around my eyes, like especially under my eyes. That's where I tend to feel dry the fastest. And this is one of like, I mean, of all the setting powders I've tried and tested, this one does feel a bit more drying on the skin. And that's me with using typically this SPF, which is a greasier SPF. And I just use the La Roche-Posay and this UV Correct. I used to use, this one's SPF 70. I used to use the SPF 50. I'll go back and forth with either of them, but it smooths everything out beautifully, which most setting powders will do anyways. But just keep in mind, it can be drying. But if you have oily skin, I really feel like this would be a fantastic one for you though. But still try the Wet n Wild one if you're looking for like a budget friendly one. But this one's not a bad one. It's just not my favorite, but still works. I don't have a Morphe powder bronzer, but I have the L'Oreal Infallible bronzer. And actually, I think I tried this once because it looks like I used it. But this is the shade Fair. And I'll just go ahead and use my powder brush just to warm this up. This is Fair, so I'm just going to go kind of crazy with it. I probably should have grabbed a more tanner shade, but I ordered this one off of Amazon. So, you know, I mean, I'm going to keep this one anyways, but I'll probably grab another one. But this is a fantastic bronzer. And for this, for my powder brush, I'm using this Japanese brush. I have no idea what it's called, but I mean, it's nice. It has, I noticed the hairs on this are a lot more stiffer. Like it almost feels kind of like itchy. But I mean, that's fine. I prefer my brushes with a little bit more structure, especially when it comes to powder. But it's not like completely itchy or anything. But Japanese brushes are really nice. But see, going kind of crazy. I think because I grabbed this Fair shade, it is a bit more orange leaning. But I love bronzers anyways. I will always use a lot of bronzers. Oh my god, there's like a piece of fluff that just isn't going away. Why does it keep coming back? Y'all see that? Anyways, time for the blush. I'm going back to this Cheek Thrills Trio, and I'll just use the powder shade. Now this is a trio. The third thing this palette has is like a highlighting balm. I will probably apply that at the end based on how I feel about my makeup look. But look at that. I like it when I have like blush duos or trios and the shades are slightly different, so it gives a bit of dimension. Like see? Like this one is like slightly cooler toned, this cream is slightly more muted, and this has like goldish champagne-y highlighting color, so it's a bit different from each other, which is really nice. I grabbed these three Morphe eyeshadow palettes. These are the new ones. They have like these baked slurry shadows. I know there's a whole marketing term for these or scientific terms, but look, it comes with like two of these like baked formula shadows, and look how gorgeous that is. So I got three of them. This is the one I want to try out today. This is Love Byte. It's just the eyeshadow palette. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, it just says Love Byte Eyeshadow Palette. But these are the new ones from Morphe, and I love me Morphe eyeshadow palettes, but apparently the formulas on this is supposed to be like amazing, so I'm super excited to try. But I grabbed Love Byte, Sky-Fi, and Python Code. So like, of course, like I open everything when I get it. This one actually is broken. It's one of these ones, so I actually have to switch this one out. But the one I want to try today is just fine, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one. So I'll go ahead and zoom you guys in. Okay, I always like to start off with my brows, and I have been loving the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil, and I use the shade Java, which I'm pretty sure is their darkest shade. I mean, I have blue-black hair, so. But this one I like. I always like using a like fine tip brow pencil. And even though this is the darkest shade, it has like a nice cooler charcoal tone to it. So it doesn't look like ink on my brows. Okay, look at the packaging of this. I really like how they did the packaging here, but I am super stoked to try this out. I love, if you are a Pat McGrath lover, especially the motherships, you know, I mean, I'm hoping it's a similar formula. I want to test out both dry and wet here today, but we'll just kind of see how everything goes. But of course, I'm grabbing this. This is my brush color remover. I need to remember to bring this up in all my like YouTube videos where I do eyeshadow looks, because this is just a game changer, especially when I'm trying out a lot of new and vibrant eyeshadow colors. But I'm gonna be using this to clean all my brushes in between. But I'll just go ahead and start with this like mauvey pink shade. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna try to get a little bit of use out of all these shades, but let's see. Okay, it's very pigmented. And I'll start, I guess, warming up my crease. That's a really pretty color. First off, I have been loving like more vibrant eyeshadow looks recently. If you've seen my TikTok videos, I did like a full-on blue eyeshadow look, and then I did a green eyeshadow look tutorial here on YouTube. So if you're interested, you can check those out. I'm just laying all this down. And setting my eyelids really well with setting powder beforehand will help everything kind of melt right in. But there's a lot of pigment here. I actually like this level of pigment. I feel like sometimes when you have too much pigment, things just get muddy really fast. But this is great. Look at that. Yeah, we'll just kind of go dramatic here. Why not? What's great is I'll be up a little while tonight, so I can see how well this lasts, because I do have a lot of cleaning that I got super behind on. But you know, motivation hits at the strangest moments. And here it is, I think it's like near midnight-ish, which it's not too late for me. So we can see how this makeup holds up. Well, look, okay. I love this shade. And it blends really nicely. And it's not like, you know, it's not like smudging all over the place either. It's a gorgeous shade. I'll go ahead and dip into this brown shade right here. I'm using a shadow brush. Now basically stay focused on the outer corner. That has a lot of pigment. Do you see that? Oh, that's gorgeous. I'm just gonna deepen my outer corner and inner corner and just connect the two. I also like the compact size of this and the fact that you get a mirror. I don't remember how much this cost. I think it was $15 for this 6-pan. The quality is amazing. I feel like this is much better quality than Morphe's older palettes. I know Morphe's older palettes have like, you know, some can feel a little bit dry. Not necessarily chalky. I feel like chalky is more when you have a lot of product pickup and it's just kind of like falling on your face, that type of dealio. That one, it's like when you put the older palettes, you put your brush in, you kind of hear it, you know? That's what I feel like I get from Morphe's older palettes. And by older, I mean like maybe released within the last 5 years, because I also do have like the OG giant like Morphe palettes, like the ones in the black case. I still have mine because I love my purple tones and I have like the purple one. I haven't touched it in years, but maybe I'll do like a throwback using my old favorite makeup palettes video. Look at that blend. I really like that. Oh, this is such a nice color. So I've talked about in the past where I'm really high contrast and I really have to have deep, rich colors for me to do a complete look with a lot of eyeshadow palettes. Like there's some palettes out there that just don't work for me because of how high contrast I am. So I really do appreciate that there is this deeper shade, you know, that gives me this much pigment and dimension, because there's a lot of shadows that, you know, it'll look one color in the pan and then you put it on your eye and it just doesn't get that deep or rich enough. And I'm not putting any shadow on my like inner lid right here. I like to just keep that bare and just give my shadows a chance to just stick on that. Because when I set my eyelids, I'm not putting a lot of setting powder on. It's more just kind of like whatever's left on my, the cotton triangle thing. The puff, triangle puff, that's what it's called. So it has enough like tackiness to the base where eyeshadows can stick, but it's set enough where I get a nice blend like that. And now I'm gonna try this right here. I mean, look how gorgeous. I'm seeing like, it's almost like a sand type tone, but it has like pink reflective flexing it. I'm gonna go ahead and use a flat brush. I'm gonna try this dry first just to see how this looks. Actually, okay, that's what it's looking like on the finger. That's gorgeous. Let me look at the pink one. Oh, gorgeous. Okay, so these are the two like special shades. Okay, that's gorgeous. Okay, it's not like Pat McGrath. Well, let's see how this looks on the eye. Okay. Oh, decisions. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use the brown shade first all over my lid. I'm gonna use it dry. It's picking up on the brush pretty well, which is good. I'm just gonna put this all over the center part. Okay, it's picking up on the brush pretty well, but not really showing up too great on the eye. Okay, I'm just gonna use my finger this time, which is how I actually like to apply a lot of my Pat McGrath shades, and that is sticking a lot better. Ooh, the pink reflective like shimmers, gorgeous. I'm just gonna put this pretty much like all over my eyelid. Wow. That's really nice. Okay. Let me actually go ahead and wet my brush and see what this looks like. I'm just gonna use water here, taking the excess off on the back of my hand and dipping into that same like brown shade. I don't want to use like any special mixing mediums or anything. I don't want to mess up the formula in the pan. But here it is with just water. Yeah, it's laying down a lot like smoother. I don't know if you can see the difference. Yeah, this one, I mean, it looks wet because it is wet, but we can see how that dries down, but it's really nice. And this is a deeper shade, so I'm not going to see like a crazy reflectiveness here. That's really pretty. I'm going to wet this again. It's like watercolors. The water looks so pretty because the glitter is just swimming in it. I'm going to use the pink now, and I think I'll just layer this like right in the middle of my lid. This one is picking, whoa, oh my god, flinging everything everywhere. This one is picking up like a lot, so I'm excited for this. Okay, I'm gonna come in closer so you guys can see. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that noise. Okay, well that's, wow. I probably should just tap on my lid. Okay, I'm gonna let that kind of dry, I guess. I mean, again, like it's not like wet. My brush is just gently dampened. I dipped it in the water, but I also wiped off the excess on my shirt. Oh, I probably shouldn't have wiped it on this shirt. This is my husband's like nice quarter zip up, but it's okay. I was the one that bought it for him as a gift. Sorry, honey, if you're watching this. I'm gonna use my shadow brush and use that first like pink shade and start smoking out my lower lash. And I do want this to be smoked out quite a bit, so I'm going to go pretty heavy here while my top lid kind of sets. And I know I have products that can basically make your makeup waterproof, but again, I don't want to put too many, like I don't want to put other products that might mess up the pan itself. So I won't be testing that here today, but if I were to use that, I would just kind of scrape a little bit off or pick some shadow on a brush first, lay it down on a palette, and then mix that in. That's typically how I use that palette, or how I use that liquid. But see, getting a lot of pink out here, really smoking this out. It's gorgeous. And then I'll use that brown shade just closer to my lash line, just to bring a little bit of definition in. Letting this go here. I'm happy that I'm not seeing creasing. That I'm very appreciative of, but I'm gonna go ahead back in with this brown shade and kind of lay it on top of this shimmer right here. And I'm gonna kind of blend out the edges so it doesn't look so harsh. Like that. Time to do some eyeliner. I'm using the Maybelline Tattoo Studio pencil. Line my waterline and then smudge out my top lash line a bit. Let me actually use this. I never use it on camera because I always make crazy faces, and then I just kind of broke the tip of this. I love how dark and rich this is. I mean, like, it's really hard to beat this one. Using this eyeliner and then just like a small brush, I'll just create like a skinny wing like this. And it's just like a nice, easy way to do eyeliner. I really don't like doing a harsh liner unless I have like really vivid colors or something that needs, like I need definition. This is just my preferred eyeliner on me. It really depends what look I'm doing, but I just love this one. Liner's done, and now I'm putting on some lash glue for my lashes. For any dramatic look like this, it's gonna look a little crazy until I put on my lash glue. But I'm using these ones from Kiss. These are the Royal Silk ones, and I think these have been my like go-tos recently. I absolutely love these lashes, and I'm gonna show you why. I'm actually trying a new lash glue, so I actually can't really talk much about it, but ones I recommend is like the one from Kiss, the Strip Lash Adhesive, the black one. That's just been my go-to for a really long time. So if you're looking for lash glue, that's a fantastic one. But once I gather my thoughts on this new one, I will let you know, because I have high hopes, but I always want to test things out. Especially this one, because I feel like no one really uses it, so I don't even know if it's worth mentioning yet. And here is why I love these lashes. Look at the difference it makes. My eye looks are gonna look crazy, especially like the brighter, colorful ones, until you put these lashes on. Or just any lashes, honestly, because look at the difference. I always like to point out that even with false lashes, you still want to put on mascara, at least on your bottom lashes, because your lashes are going to get grayed out when you put on a lot of eyeshadows. And it's just like, it's going to make everything look a bit more cohesive. And I also like to do put mascara on my top lashes as well, just to make sure like the grayness from any shadows on my lashes are, you know, kind of covered. But if you are worried about getting too much mascara on your lashes and you want to reuse them, just put on your mascara first, let it dry, and then put on your lashes, and then you're not worried about like getting extra mascara on your lashes that you can't reuse. But look at this. The eyes are done, so we can go back to my face and do my lips. I love how my eyes look. I always love like very vivid colors, and I love like pink and purple hues on me, and I think this is just stunning. I love like cooler tones as well, and that's like, you know, that's what this palette is. It's pretty cool toned, but that's just right up my alley, so I'm in love. I know they have like warmer tone ones, but I only grabbed 3, and I think there's 6 total. Do I want to grab the rest? I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to keep trying the other ones out and see if it's worth it. But do I want a nice glow on my face? Yes, I do. And I'm going to go back to the Cheek Thrills. I'm going to use the Balm shade right here. I'm just going to use my finger, I think. I feel like this just applies really well with my finger. And it's nice because it's like a nice like topper shade. Can you see it? I always go kind of light with my shimmer, like highlights, anything. But I feel like this, if you're just doing like a nice, simple, like summery look, like low effort look, I feel like this with like a skin tint will look really nice. So if you're into that, that'll work. I just am not into that, so I won't be doing that. But if you guys really want to see it, I'll do it. But for my day-to-day looks, I'd rather do a full beat like this than what I have mentioned. And I've noticed like this doesn't pick up on other layers. Like I'm rubbing this on, you know, it's staying on pretty nicely, so I appreciate that. I'm gonna put a little on my lips, a little on my chin, kind of spread the glow. It's nice. I love this pink hue. This is such a versatile shade. Like I'm not sure how this is gonna look on like deeper skin tones, but for medium, lighter skin tones, this one's a really nice one. And like, you know, moderately tan, I feel like this is a really nice shade. I have a lot of the Morphe lip liners. I love these lip liners. Like these I think are $6, $7, and this one's in the shade Makeup Talk, and I think this one's a really nice nude. I don't know if I want to go for a bold lip or a nude lip. I think I actually want to go bold. Hold on. Yeah, I have a Morphe lip liner that's like a purple shade, and I think this is gonna be perfect because this is like a pink eye, I know, but like the deeper tones kind of make it lean purple. Okay, maybe I'll actually do a mix of these. Yeah, I'll just do a mix of these because why pick? You can just use both. But I'm gonna go ahead and use Morphe's lip pencil in the shade Makeup Talk and just line my lips. This one's a fantastic like nude brown shade, especially for people like similar to me and like a deeper outer lip tone. So let's see. Oh yeah. Gorgeous. Look at that. It's like my lips, but better. And I like that it's a cooler tone, so it's almost like a contouring type of effect. But this is pretty close to my skin tone, and this one is going to be so significantly deeper. This is still from Morphe. It's the Soul Matte Filling Gel Lip Liner in the shade, what is this? Compatible. I don't know what they mean by filling. I've used this a couple times. I think it's just like a nice regular lip liner, but I don't know about filling. I'm just adding this on like the outer parts of my lips. Yeah, I like that. I feel like when you put lip liners on after putting another lip product on, it kind of creates like a softer blend. So since I already have this lip liner on, this one's just making it nice and soft. I can't remember if this dries down, so I'm going to give it a minute, and then I'll put on my lip gloss. Blended it in a little bit, but I don't own any more like Morphe lip products, so I'm going to just use the L'Oreal Plump Ambition Hyaluronic Lip Oil, and I have the shade 641 Latte Glaze. I'll just kind of use this on top. I'm not the biggest fan of this lip gloss, but I'll use it. Like, I feel it's really thin, especially for the price. But I don't know about plumping effects, but it does feel like a good bit of like the minty tingly sensation. Feels nice. I mean, it's not like Too Faced level of that, but it's nice. I don't know about hydrating power. I know this doesn't really last on me, but I also am a big back and I eat a lot. But in comparison to other lip glosses, this doesn't really last me that long. So that's just my 2 cents on that. But I do want to try some Morphe like lip glosses. I just keep forgetting to pick them up. And honestly, I'm more into like higher end lip products. So that hasn't really been high up on my wish list. But now I guess I'm a bit more intrigued. I did my hair like what, 5 days ago? So this is what, like day 5 hair. My curls have fallen now. It's just kind of taking the shape of how my hair stays up in a bun, but here it is. Yeah, my hair's a little bit wonky, but I mean, it's fine. It's kind of like the messy tousled look. But what do we think about this look? Okay, so I mean, I'm in love with this. Again, this is just the only one I've tried thus far. I have 2 more with me right now that I will try, but I am in love with this. Like, I did a look with Pat McGrath's Mothership 7, I believe. It's like Petamorphosis 2, and it just kind of gives like that type of pink vibe. I mean, even when you look at this pink, I mean, I'm not going to say they're not the same at all, like the shade itself, they're not the same, but this just kind of gives like that type of feel, and I really do love this. I love like the more pinky cheeks and the berry lips, and it's just gorgeous. And this quality is amazing. Morphe has definitely changed their quality from even their more recent palettes to these palettes. They're amazing. Like, I love the pigment level on it. I think this for me is the perfect amount of pigment level because it's not too much where it's going to get muddy and kind of just get everywhere. That's hard to work with, but it's not too light in pigment either where you have to keep building it up. Like, this is the right amount where if you want a lot more pigment, you can build it up, but it's not like you have to keep dipping in like 5 times. So I am in love with this. And this one is in the shade Love Byte, and I'm super, super excited to try the other ones. Look how gorgeous this is. Oh my gosh. Stunning, beautiful. And I love the packaging. It's almost giving like the new MAC ones. I haven't purchased any of the new MAC eyeshadow palettes, but look at this. I love the packaging. Morphe is killing it with this eyeshadow palette because, I mean, the price, $15. For 6 eyeshadows, and you're getting 2 mattes, one like just like normal type of shimmer, and then one like matte with like shimmery flecks in it. I don't know. I know Pat McGrath has some shadows that kind of look like this as well, like that type of formula. And then 2 of these baked ones that are amazing, especially when they're wet. And I'm not seeing any creasing or anything, and they're nice and vibrant, which I'm super excited to try the Love Byte one because look at this one. That's going to be like the next tutorial. So like keep an eye out for that. But I mean, This is amazing for $15. The quality is unmatched. You're even getting a mirror in the compact, which I know mirrors tend to cost a lot more when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. This is amazing. It's nice and compact. This is definitely going to be like traveling with me at this point because I do have a lot of travels coming up. Like, it's actually insane. And these are going to be in my kit. And I did grab more vibrant ones, and I think there's one or two that are a little bit more, we'll say, wearable, neutral. I might grab those just for the sake of traveling, just because the quality is insane here, and it's affordable because I'm kind of iffy when it comes to a lot of like traveling with my more expensive makeup, especially when it comes to flying, because I don't want to lose it, I don't want it to break, and it's just, you know, I can replace this one a lot easier than one of my Tom Ford quads. If you tried these eyeshadow palettes or any other Morphe palettes that you recommend, let me know in the comments because I definitely want to try more of these palettes and more Morphe products in general. But let me know if I've inspired you or de-influenced you from buying anything here, because I do have a couple thoughts, especially with like the Morphe setting powder, but you know, I do have a couple favorites from Morphe. So let me know your thoughts. And if you want to see more of my face, you can follow me on my socials. I've been kind of like iffy, like here and there, kind of like uploading, but I'm feeling a lot better. Things are a little bit less chaotic. I have just been very busy recently, but like a good kind of busy, you know? I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope to see you again soon.